Hope everybody got through the snowstorm okay and that you're safe and warm somewhere and enjoying the action with us here at the Roof. Happy to have you with us. First possession of the game to the Greyhounds. DK. Kenneth Jones, the point guard, watched by Jonas Harper. Cam Spencer, one of the top scorers in the league, from the elbow. You can't give him that much space.
Well, that's where Fletcher Tynan, they're putting the length on right now on Cam Spencer, but in that pick and roll action with DK, Suk Matone decided to go back and watch that pass go to DK. You can't leave the best shooter out there, and that's where Spencer made him pay from 8 feet away.
Averaging 18 points a game for Loyola this season. Jonas Harper. Now McCoy with a nice first step. And the pass deflects off the official, and it'll still be BU ball.
Matt Potter, Daniel Basil, and Jeffrey Adams, the three calling this one. Is that hit one of the three to start the start this one. Terriers will maintain the possession. 5, though, on the shot clock.
Walter White. Back to Walter for the 3. Walter White closing in on a milestone after Tuesday night's game at Navy. Walter had 11 points, leaving him 2 away from 1,000 on the all-time BU list. Inside, Illich can't hit the twisting shot.
Well, already an offensive rebound, and that's what really hurt the Terriers in that game against Navy. Minus 15 on the glass, 23 second chance points, and Golden DK gets the first offensive board for Loyola.
Spencer again, and it looked like he slipped. He did, and it's called for he's called for a travel, and he took a hard fall there. It looked like right on his hip.
Yeah, and he's certainly, as we mentioned, coming off of multiple injuries over the last couple of years. You just never want to see a player go down like he did, but that one just slipping on some wet floor. He's all right. The Terriers get the possession back against the zone by Loyola.
Tynan. White looking inside to Matone. He's going to go to work on DK, and instead has the ball slapped away and stolen. You can hear the cheering from across the way from the Loyola bench, approving of the defensive effort of their teammates. And now Jalen Andrews misses the 3.
Andrews was trying to finish off the play. He was the one who got the steal on Suk Matone, who brought the ball down.
Underneath, out of bounds on the deflection, and it will still be BU ball.
Great block by Cam Spencer. Spencer comes into this game. We talked about his numbers, and he's got 29 steals. It's his 3rd block of the season as well, as he was able to contest Fletcher's shot at the rim.
Blocks are actually one of the categories, one of the few categories that he's not in the top 10 in the Patriot League. He's all over the top 10 list right now.
Just happy to be playing again, I'm sure.
White with the spin and the turnaround that rims out.
Well, Walter looking for a shot. We've talked about him, really sometimes settling for that first 3, which he did against the shot clock this time. The last time. This time, though, got to the elbow and just missed a 14-footer.
Still 2-0, 2.5 minutes in here at the Roof. DK. Shot clock down to 8. Andrews gets shut off by McCoy. Now the shot clock at 3, at 2. Spencer can't hit the fall away.
And that's what they want Spencer to do all game long. Take difficult 2s with a hand in your face. That is the terrific defense by the Terriers on that possession.
Drop pass from McCoy to Matone for the easy 2 inside.
Defense leading to offense. You get your stop and you're going on the move. And Suk Matone was able to finish that one. Again, he got the rebound off that missed shot by Cam Spencer. Beats everyone down the floor and still gets that drop step move in the low block.
Jalen Andrews now for DK.
They really have DK out high right now.
Jones is called for the travel right in front of the BU bench.
They want to set that high screen to let their guards go off them, but when you're that high, that's when Suk is playing off of them. So Suk is basically at the free throw line just saying, all right, I'm waiting for a guard to even get in my area. It's just a little surprising how high he's setting that screen for Kenny Jones.
White is guarded by Illich. Illich has a twin brother, Velko, who is also in the rotation. Fletcher Tynan has a jumper spin out.
Fletcher in double figures last game. He had 10. All 5 Terrier starters were in double figures in their first double-digit loss of the season to Navy.
Yeah, their biggest loss of the season by 12 as DK gets inside that time for the lefty flip.
Well, that was just great positioning. And Suk Matone, he's a warrior. He will battle anyone in the post, but that time DK got the better of him and was able to finish with his left hand.
One of the issues for BU on Tuesday night, Brian, they had all 5 starters in double figures, as you mentioned, but they did not get a whole lot from the bench.
Right. So after you get guys out of the rotation, who's going to step up? That's going to be the big question.
Shot clock at 5. Tynan wide open for the 3, but can't hit it. And more cheers from the Loyola bench. Looking for a bounce back here today at home against Loyola.
Yeah, he said to us before the game that it was just it was up and down, and during that long run, that was the thing that kind of just broke the back seemingly for the Terriers. They were able to come back and tie the game, but you're just battling uphill when you do something like that.
Spencer thought about the Euro step move, but CJ is into the game early and makes the steal for BU.
He wanted that 3.
Ethan Britton Watts instead misfires. This is certainly the earliest that Kalen Jones has been in a game this season.
Yeah, Kalen's usually come in with about 6 minutes left to go in each half, so he's really the first one off the bench with EBW in this game.
Kalen Jones has hit a 3 in every game that he has played this year. He's played the last 6, and that's an offensive foul on Milos Ilic.
Good job by Walter White, just absorbing the body contact. Walter in the post, you can't always necessarily put an arm bar or a hand, so you've got to kind of take the contact. So watch him just with the chest, and then all of a sudden, the shoulder drops by Ilic, and it's an easy offensive foul called. The first foul in this contest from either team. It's the offensive kind, and the Terriers will get the ball back.
When you go to basketball camps as a kid, do they teach you the shrug after you get called for an offensive foul? They teach you how to shrug and hold your hands like, what did I do?
No, it's every time a whistle blows in general, you shrug. That's what they teach you. That's what I was taught.
Suk Matone with the hook shot over Golden DK.
Now, that's the kind of shrug you want. You fake to the right and then come back over with the opposite shoulder. That's beautifully done by Suk Matone. He's got all 4 points for the Terriers here in the early going.
Let's just say scoring has been difficult to come by here in the opening minutes of this one. Cam Spencer covered tightly by Javante McCoy as he thought about taking a shot. Jones takes the deep 3, and that's the first 3 of the game for either team.
Well, when the Terriers get into their half-court defense, it's been very difficult for Loyola. They've been trying to penetrate, get to the paint, and look out, but the Terriers have done a good job eliminating the passing lanes. So this time, Kenneth Jones just says, fine, I'm not going to get into the passing lanes. I'll just shoot over the top of everybody.
On the baseline, Walter White comes up short. Walter may be pressing a little bit.
Yeah, that time in close as he's looking at his hand saying, that's a shot I make 90% of the time, and he just missed it from 4 feet out.
Again, Walter 2 points away from 1,000 in his career. Spencer, nice feed to Golden DK, but he blew the layup.
Oh, that was a great opportunity for Loyola on the give and go.
Good save by Kalen Jones in the corner. The Terriers able to get it into Suk Matone, and the foul is called on Milos Ilic, and that's the
second on him. So Ilic is going to come out of this game. Alonzo Faure will enter.
They hadn't put it up on the scoreboard yet. That was what was confusing me.
And then you bring in another 6'10 Ilic. This one, Velko, his twin brother, is in there now for Loyola.
Kalen Jones, tough 3 in the corner with Spencer there.
I like that set play, though, because under out of bounds, being able to kind of fade into the corner, but he almost faded too much on the shot.
Velko Ilic off the bench, the other of the twin brothers from Serbia, and he's on the board.
Yeah, he was basically being guarded by Kalen Jones, and he was able to just go right up over the top of him.
Loyola with a 5-0 run here.
Which seems a lot more than it really is so far in this game.
Terriers just ice cold on the offensive end. CJ will try again. That's way off.
That was deflected.
Kalen Jones looking for a deflection also. And let's see if there's going to be a review on this. Joe Jones is having a laugh over at the scorer's table.
He and Tavares Hardy, the head coach of Loyola, good friends, and certainly just both having a smile on their face after that one, as credit the block to Ken Jones, the smallest man on the floor, getting that one.
And now Velko Ilic taps the inbounds away. They'll have to do it again.
17 on the shot clock. Again, after that miss, it still was 20 left on the original shot clock.
I think they're going to have a discussion here about where the shot clock was. Because if it was reset to 20 seconds, certainly that didn't take 3 seconds. Malcolm Chimezi into the game for BU for the first time. Shot clock down to 8. Fletcher Tynan gets himself free, can't hit the shot. Boy, not only are these shots missing for BU, Brian, but they're missing by a lot, a number of them.
Well, Loyola defensively starting out in a zone to start the shot clock, and then we'll switch to man later in the shot clock, and it's definitely confused a little bit it's confused the Terriers late in the shot clock.
Jalen Andrews, that play will be whistled dead, and an offensive foul called on Wade Jackson, guard out of Washington, D.C., who just checked in for Loyola, and he's now on the score sheet with a personal.
So 3 team fouls for Loyola. The Terriers, 2 of 13 from the field. They started the game 1 for 6, and they've now gone 1 for their last 7 in this most recent media stretch.
Ethan Britton-Watts out there with Tynan, McCoy, Chimezi, and Jones for BU. Interesting 5 on the court right now. Ethan got caught in midair and throws it away. Andrews with the steal. 2-on-1 with Spencer, and he knifes in.
And for Spencer, his second basket, and probably one of the easier buckets he'll have all game. With Fletcher Tynan on him, that's how you get a guy kind of feeling good about his shot, getting him an easy layup like that in transition off the turnover. EBW just went up in midair. Cardinals sin in basketball.
Fletcher Tynan in the corner makes a nice move on the baseline. Terriers keep it moving. Kalen Jones off target.
That's a great pass by EBW. Find your shooter. That was execution. Unfortunately, the Terriers just snake-bitten from the field right now.
Well, BU hit their first 5 threes at Navy the other night and then went 2 for 12 the rest of the game. They're starting out cold in this one. And another turnover for Loyola. Terriers still playing pretty solid defense overall as they feed into Chimezi, and it's so far in this game, Loyola has just 2 assists as opposed to 6 turnovers. And the Terriers turn it over as Ethan Britton-Watts throws it off the side of the backboard from out of bounds. And a great back cut by Cam Spencer, and a 9-0 run now for the Greyhounds.
And these are the extended runs. We saw it the other night against Navy as well. The Terriers have to find an answer, and sometimes it's pressing too much to end that answer. But let's see if the Terriers can get Suk Matone on the low block here.
That's 3 turnovers now for BU, and the last 2 have led to easy buckets for Loyola. Jonas Harper. Now Ethan. Terriers now 0 for 8 from three-point land, and they are 2 for 15 overall from the floor.
Well, something we have not seen a lot of, Malcolm Chimezi and Suk Matone out there at the same time. This is to control the glass. Terriers who were out-rebounded by 15 last game and out-rebounded by 4 here in the early going. And I think they got Chimezi with the foul on Illich.
Away from the ball, it is on Chimezi. That's the first foul on BU, almost 10 minutes into the game.
And by the way, Doug, the official came up to us as we were coming back that the last foul that was on Wade Jackson wasn't part of that play. The foul was on Illich, Velko Illich, for the offensive foul, which is what we had kind of talked about. I was still a little confused how Wade Jackson got that foul originally.
Looking at the expression on his face, he was a little confused too.
He'll take it. Yeah, give it to Wade. That's fine.
Alonso Faure into the game. Another big man from Spain. Jackson almost turns it over and hits at the buzzer to extend this run. Now 11 unanswered for Loyola.
Well, Loyola, the last 4 games, they have just continued to step it up a notch, and this is a team that is getting better as the year is going on, and they are putting it to the Terriers right here in the early going.
Walter White and Javante McCoy getting set to come back in for BU. 4 points more than 10 minutes into the game for the Terriers. Matone trying to find someone, and he can't get it to Fletcher Tynan. Another turnover for BU. Spencer, not from the left elbow.
Spencer trying to get out in transition. Credit Suk Matone just putting an arm up there after he had turned the ball over on the previous possession.
Terriers desperate to get the offense going, but give credit to this Loyola defense. They have been something here in this first half. Jonas Harper driving on Spencer. Nice drop pass to Matone. He's blocked, and the second shot doesn't go either.
So over 6 minutes now without a field goal for the Terriers. You mentioned just those 2 baskets. They are 2 for 18 from the field.
And Loyola trying to extend what's now an 11-0 run.
These long droughts, just like we saw on Tuesday against Navy. It's just so hard to come back from when you're talking about, a 6-7 minute stretch without anything.
Velko Illich with the shot clock winding down, couldn't hit. Terriers trying to get down the floor quickly. Jonas Harper moves on the big man, and Suk Matone gets fouled as he goes up strong.
So the first free throws of the game upcoming for the Terriers, as that was a great play by Jonas Harper along the baseline, finding Suk Matone. The Terriers, when they can rebound and run, it's almost a secondary transition. As you take a look, as here the beautiful pass to Suk, and the foul will be on Velko Illich. So both Illich brothers now each with 2 personal fouls. Oh, actually, no, they gave this one to Wade Jackson now.
Okay.
I guess that's basketball karma right there.
You're right, though. Velko does have 2, along with his brother Milos.
No, Velko only has 1 now because that other one, this one went to Wade Jackson.
Oh, that's right.
So that's where I was confused. I thought this one was also on Illich, but this one's on Wade Jackson for the reach-in.
And now both Illich brothers are getting a breather as Matone hits both free throws to end that long drought for BU.
They still are without a field goal again since the 14.5-minute mark, but they get on the scoreboard with 2 points from the free throw line and cut it back to single digits.
DK working on Matone. Nick Marshall, freshman out of Clarksville, Maryland, into the game, wearing number 0.
Marshall had a great game against Holy Cross. Second game in his young career, he finished in double figures, went 3 for 3 from three-point range.
Great defense by BU on that possession. Walter White takes the long rebound. Jonas Harper, that shot was blocked, but Tynan finishes the play and tips it in.
Yeah, you had Tynan and Walter White running back on that. Jonas Harper put it on the glass.
Oh, nice move inside at the other end by Jalen Andrews. And it's 17-8 Loyola, but that bucket by Tynan ended a 7-minute BU drought.
The way Loyola turned that around, that was off a made basket. It looked like they were out in transition against the Terriers.
Suk again inside. Great up fake and the dunk as he got DK out of the way.
Well, when you had deal with shot blockers, and especially the Illich brothers, they like to shot block as well. If you can get them up in the air, there was no secondary help, and Suk Matone now is 8.
Another turnover by the Greyhounds. Terriers trying to run again. White. Loyola gets back. Walter finds Suk Matone on the smaller man. He can't hit the shot, and Walter White is... That was his first point of the game. And he comes up short on the second one.
I think he knew that it was 9-9-9 as well. So.
I think he's known since the beginning of the game. That's why some of these shots have been a little tentative.
Walter White, that was his first point with that free throw.
That was the 5th personal, incidentally, on Loyola in this half as Faure misses from point-blank range. The Terriers get it right back, trying to put a little run together here. Something the Terriers have not been able to do in this first half.
Anthony Morales in for the first time for BU, trying to spark the offense.
Long cross-court pass to White. He can't connect on the dunk. Jonas Harper misfires on the 3.
Well, there was a great look along the baseline. That was ready to get this crowd and the BU bench up after that one. But missed it, and the Terriers could not finish off the second chance opportunity.
Jones kicks it out for Andrews. Faure. 10 to shoot for Loyola. BU has not led in this game in the first half, and DK extends the Greyhounds' lead to 8.
If you see Suk's facial reaction after that one, he knew it too. It was a great move by DK. He almost faded away on a hook shot, which you don't usually see.
BU down by 8. Malcolm Chemezi is going to come right back in at the next whistle for BU. Anthony Morales lines up a 3, and that is an air ball, and the Terriers continue to struggle from the three-point line. They are now 0 for 10 on threes.
Anthony Morales, 16 minutes combined the last 2 games. He had 16 games previously in that Marist game. So the Terriers with guys back, talking about Walter White and Ethan Britton Watts, this rotation is still in the works, and there's a lot open right now. Joe Jones made it clear to us that nothing is set. He's looking for guys to step up here in this situation. BU has not gotten that from the bench or anyone besides Suk Matone in this game right now.
Cam Spencer guarded by McCoy. Spencer with a hard drive to the paint, comes up short. There's going to be a foul against the Terriers inside, and it's going to be on Chemezi. That'll be his second.
Malcolm has both Terrier team fouls in this game, so Suk, who is just getting a breather, we'll see if they can keep Malcolm in the game here. They're going to try to do it to the under 4-minute media timeout just to extend Suk's break here. Tough battle for him against DK.
Kenneth Jones to put it in play to Faure, who gets the shot off and hits it off glass.
I really think Faure was just trying to actually draw contact to get to the free throw line, and somehow was able to bank that one in. Pretty finish, and all going right for Loyola. They're up by 10 again.
Faure and DK, both from Spain, and the Ilic brothers from Serbia on this Loyola roster. White again, off the heel, and the long rebound for Spencer. Loyola leading by 10. Andrews fights through traffic and gets called for too many steps.
Yeah, Andrews felt the body contact, but when he went into the paint, took a couple of extra, let's just say there's a lot of Euro steps involved in that one to be a travel. And it's the 8th turnover, but the Terriers have only scored 2 points off of the previous 7 turnovers. Again, it's been tough going for the Terriers offensively. Javante McCoy, Jonas Harper scoreless. Walter White with just that 1 point.
And it's prevailed in the OT. And then Loyola came home on Tuesday night to beat Holy Cross.
Yeah, Army, Lehigh, both 2-0 to start Patriot League play.
And Loyola, incidentally, 1-5 on the road. Their only road win so far this season came at Fairfield. Spencer doesn't hit the three. Faure gets blocked by Walter White, and the Terriers can't save it.
Miles Brewster now into the game for the first time. So we've seen Anthony Morales and Miles Brewster. So the Terriers have gone back to at least showing their traditional 10 players total. It was CJ and it was EBW came off the bench first. And Anthony Morales the last segment. Now it's Miles Brewster here to provide a spark in the final 4 minutes of this one.
So on the second chance possession, DK feeds inside and Faure gets fouled by Walter White inside. That'll only be the 3rd foul on BU. It's the 1st on Walter.
Did you ever think you were going to get yourself in a situation where the tongue twister was Faure got fouled?
Sometimes it happens that way.
Now it's in your head.
The ones that you're not expecting.
I'm just waiting. It's going to be in your head now.
Andrews can't hit. And Brewster does save it this time.
Good job by the weak side rebound. The one thing the Terriers did not get a lot of against Navy was help from rebounding by the guards. Brewster comes right in and secures one for the Terriers.
Matone. 3 minutes to go in the half. BU trailing by 10.
Javante just 1 field goal attempt.
Oh, they're going to call that foul on Faure. Loyola really extended the defense literally all the way out to half court. That's a tough foul on Faure. Great defensive work again by the Greyhounds.
Well, they have just mystified the Terriers. And again, sometimes you wonder if that just kind of gets in your head as the half goes on. 4 for 25, shooting 16%, including 0 for 11 from 3-point range against this zone.
Javante McCoy has it slip out of his hands, and they say last touch by Javante.
Well, one of the things this team does very well, this Loyola team, you talked about Cam Spencer being in the top in the Patriot League in steals. Well, overall, this team averages 8 steals. They force nearly 15 turnovers a game, and obviously they've gotten into the heads of the Terrier players there in this first half as well. All that said, though, Doug, we're just talking about a 10-point game.
Jones finds DK on the cut for the easy flush, and the largest lead of the half for Loyola at 12.
Well, it's been the same play. DK basically setting a screen at the elbow and then will dip, and they're able to find him, and he gets an easy dunk as the Terrier player getting caught on it.
Javante McCoy drills the 3 after an 0 for 12 start. the Terriers finally get their first triple.
And boy, the Terriers just needed any kind of bucket. At this point, just something positive going into halftime. We know the Terriers have the ability to score. Another backdoor, this time to Andrews.
Wow, boy, the Terriers getting victimized on back-to-back possessions.
Same play. This time they run it with the guard. It's basically a backdoor cut from the elbow where they're pretending to be a screener and then go backdoor with it. That's communication between the Terrier defenders.
Faure reaches in, almost got a steal, but it'll stay BU ball with 11 to shoot as Veljko Ilic will come back into the game now for Loyola, and DK will get a breather.
And remember, this is all with Milos Ilic, their starting forward. He's been sitting with 2 fouls.
Right.
So Faure has provided a great spark off the bench. And, you know, in one of the differences that we've seen the last couple of games, you're getting the bench help from Loyola. The Terriers still in search of that bench help right now, and that wasn't the case before the new year.
2 to shoot. White's gonna let it go, and it's way off. The Terriers with another empty possession.
Yeah, Walter now 0 for 6. He's had a couple that he's had to force up against the shot clock.
Kenneth Jones finds Andrews. The corner 3 won't go. Matone kicks off the fast break for the Terriers. And McCoy takes the contact, and he'll go to the line.
Javante did a nice job of creating the contact, but then not going head down or shoulder down and running into a defender that looked like he may have gotten position. So instead, he's able to get the contact. Oh yeah, he was sliding over was Kenneth Jones. So good heads up by Javante to put the ball off the glass to get 2 free throws. It is the 17th foul, so regardless, it would have been a 1-on-1 situation. But Javante throwing the ball up will earn himself 2 trips to the line now.
First foul on Jones, and Javante McCoy now has 4 points in the game. BU's leading scorer, averaging 17 a game. 7th on BU's all-time scoring list, and he comes up short on the second one.
All 15 points have been scored by the starters again for BU.
Final minute of the half. Cam Spencer, tough shot, and it's short, but Andrews is there to clean it up.
Jonas Harper looked like he got the back of his shoe stepped on. I don't know if he has to kind of make sure that he is in the arena in the first half for BU.
And the other thing about this game for BU, they were hoping for a bounce back here
Right.
at home. They play their next 2 on the road, so it doesn't get any easier for the Terriers as they'll be at American and at Army next week. Walter White gets his man in the air, and there it is. 1,001 career points for Walter White. Variety for Tavares Hardy on the Loyola bench.
Well, now I'm curious, now that the monkey's off his back and you can celebrate, now can all of a sudden Walter White just be that dominant player the rest of this game as you see him lean in and get that little floater. He has 3 points in this game as he got that free throw first, and then that leaner, 1 for 7 from the field with a couple of rebounds in this contest. But your hope is that now Walter White can just be focused on basketball and lead his team back from 10 down here with 20 seconds to go. And by the way, Doug, this is where it starts with getting a stop here before the end of the first half.
Yep.
Tavares Hardy taking his use it or lose it timeout. They haven't had to really call very many timeouts in this first half, but certainly using this to set up an offensive play. I'm curious to see if Cam Spencer's not going to have the ball in his hands, or if it's going to be a similar kind of post setup around the elbow that we saw with Faure as well as we've seen with DK.
Walter White, the 40th BU player all time to hit 1,000 career points. Final shot of the half.
Terriers in a zone.
Jones and Spencer playing catch. Now they go to Faure. Nice pass to Ilic, but he can't hit the shot. BU's got time. Javante McCoy will try it.
And I think Spencer really took some ill-advised shots early on. They sort of changed things, moved him without the basketball, and that made it a little bit easier for everyone else to get involved.
It'd be very interesting to see what Joe Jones' substitution pattern is here in this second half after getting very little off the bench in the first half. Javante McCoy misses the first shot.
1-3-1 zone by Loyola. Cam Spencer at the top of it, just using his size to annoy.
And the 3 at the other end to start the second half for Cam Spencer.
Yep, so again, off the missed shot, they're off to the races as well, and Spencer knocks down the first triple of the second half, the second of the game for Loyola. Kenny Jones had one in the first half.
And the largest lead is now 13 for Loyola. Suk Matone working on DK. Keeps his pivot foot and gets it to go.
Yeah, the bright spot for the Terriers, besides Walter White, congratulations to him for reaching 1,000 career points, the 40th Terrier to do so. The other bright spot in that first half was Suk Matone. He now has 10 points to go along with 3 rebounds in this contest.
First double-digit scorer for either team in this game.
There's the other man who's on the verge, Spencer, with 9.
Thought about it, gets rid of it. Illich, nice pass inside, but even better hands from Suk Matone.
Yeah, that was all hustle by Suk Matone that time, getting around the swim move and then laying out to get the rebound, to get the ball.
Fletcher Tynan gives the Terriers 2 buckets in a row. That may be the first time that's happened.
It is the first time, and for Fletcher, that's got to feel good. He had missed his first 4 attempts from the field, gets one to go here, and the Terriers have been able to respond with 2 baskets now as they inch back to within 9. Again, you can't get a 9-point play, not that I know of at least.
Spencer throws up a very tough shot on the baseline.
Great defense again by Tynan. Suk came over to help as well.
Gliding in, McCoy can't hit it. He was hoping for the foul, didn't get the contact.
You know, we've seen Javante make some ridiculous layups in his career. That one I thought was more of a general layup for him, and I don't know if he just put too much spin on it.
BU digging in on defense again.
Yeah, trying to get 3 stops in a row, what they call a brick. They always have a game goal of the number of bricks in a game.
Shot clock at 3, at 2. DK had to put it up in a hurry, and there's the brick.
Yeah, DK looking over the bench saying, I was looking at the shot clock. I think he had an extra second to come down with that, though.
And Walter White glides in for 2, and the Terriers have 6 unanswered points.
And that's too easy. You talked about offense being so difficult in the first half. Well, these 3 buckets, the Terriers have been able to score in the paint, and doing so just beating their defenders. Here's Andrews now with it on the left side.
Well, one thing to keep an eye on, Brian, as this second half continues as Andrews hits the jumper at the other end.
Big answer.
Tavares Hardy plays his big guys, his big guns, a lot of minutes. So it'll be interesting to see how he manages the minutes in this second half as Javante McCoy hits. He's now got 6.
Well, remember, Milos Ilic only played a few minutes in the first half because of foul trouble, so he is certainly well rested in this one. And they got a lot of production from their bench, so I'm curious to see if he'll go a little bit deeper into his bench in the second half because of their production in the first half.
Jones tries the 3 and drills it.
It's just, again, this is the problem when you play uphill. You're talking about a team that can score, has the ability to score, and Kenny Jones just coming over the screen. If you go under, he's going to make you pay.
BU trailing by 10 again. BU has not led in this game. Matone looking for an outlet. 10 to shoot for the Terriers.
Yeah, this zone has been trickery for the Terriers, and they're so quick.
Harper can't hit the 3. Walter White flies in to clean it up.
Now, there's the advantage, is that against the zone, it's a lot easier to go and get the offensive glass. So the Terriers, who've struggled from 3-point range, 1 for 14, but there's Walter White on cleanup duty for his 1,005th point.
Illich hounded by White. DK. Now Spencer turning the corner. And the jumper is good for Cam Spencer.
And just a good play there by Javante McCoy coming over, realizing that Fletcher Tynan was trailing that. There was no chance for him to contest. Javante got an arm up there, but Cam Spencer, when it's feeling good, that's what happens.
He's got 11. Suk Matone answers at the other end. Suk now has a dozen.
Do you remember when this game was 27-17 at halftime? 5 minutes in, scoring has been a little bit easier to come by here in the second half.
Both ends. Jalen Andrews, guarded by McCoy. No whistles here in this stretch. Tavares Harper.
High score. They beat Colgate at home. Then they go on the road in the Patriot League, and it's a different story.
Could you say letdown?
Can you say that's Patriot League play, home and road? I mean, there is something to be said.
Unpredictable, completely, always. Faure into the game now for Loyola, and there's going to be an offensive foul underneath. That one's called on Jalen Andrews.
So the Terriers will get the ball back. I actually think they got, oh yeah, they did get Jalen Andrews his first. I saw Illich in there as well. So the Terriers trying to capitalize. That's the 9th Loyola turnover. And again, that's what keeps the door open. And certainly the Terriers have shot better here in the second half, shooting 67% from the field.
Javante McCoy drills his second triple of the game, and BU is back within 5.
Yep, just like that, you're talking about a 2-possession game. So now let's see if that motivates them on the defensive end. Again, getting a couple stops here and put some pressure on the visiting Loyola team.
Jones trying to answer, that's an air ball, and McCoy is all over it.
Yeah, Javante McCoy getting a weak side rebound. Again, against Navy, the guards did not help out.
White trying to answer, also with a 3, and cannot.
Well, the Terriers were looking for, to get a little bit more out of that. Walter White had that squared up, just would not fall for him. Walter's second leading scorer right now was 7.
Malcolm Chimezi back in the game, playing with 2 fouls, the only BU player with 2. Milos Illich has 2 for Loyola, and the steal by Walter White on Faure.
Faure played very well in that first half, too, getting early minutes here for Tavares Hardy.
Jonas Harper got some contact inside. Play on is the call.
Yeah, they say he went vertical, and again, if you're not getting that contact.
Underneath, that's a great move by Velko Illich on the reverse.
Yeah, what are you supposed to do if you're Malcolm Chimezi? You forced him along the baseline, you're forcing him into a tough finish, and Illich did a great job and great ball control underneath the basket for the up and under.
Illich with 4 points now.
There's that zone. If the Terriers can continue to break this, will we see a change at all?
What a fake by Walter White. He can't collect the 3, though. Chimezi gets the offensive rebound. And EBW cashes the triple.
Well, Ethan Britton Watts now his 3rd game back after missing time with the ankle injury. He's hit a 3 in each of the games back, including this one now. And again, Terriers getting other helpers here in the second half. And it's back to a 4-point game.
That was all set up by that shot fake by Walter White. Loyola never really recovered defensively. Faure inside, tough move over Walter White.
Those are some interesting matchups now. We talk about Malcolm Chimezi against Illich, and then you've got another 6'10" guy in Faure. It creates mismatches, but Walter White very accustomed to playing at that 4 position, and the Terriers go smaller with 3 guards.
Fletcher Tynan and Kalen Jones will come in at the next whistle for BU. Jonas Harper makes a quick move. That's a nice catch by Chimezi, but he was double teamed, and that's a held ball. The arrow points to Loyola.
Yeah, that's just Loyola helping out. Basically 2 players coming over to make that double stuff right there.
Malcolm did a nice job just to catch that pass with one hand, but he just could not get that shot up over the Loyola wall.
Now, both teams went to the benches. I thought they thought someone called a timeout. There was no timeout called.
Nope.
So at 12:03, we're not ready to go to immediate timeout. Play on, as they say. So I think both teams expected that there was a timeout called. Joe Jones looking at Tavares Hardy and back and forth. Did you call a timeout? Kalen Jones comes back in for the Terriers here in the second half. He played some minutes in the first half, and Fletcher Tynan also comes into the game to give Walter White a breather. So now a different rotation where with Walter White playing at the 4, he and Fletcher Tynan switching out now.
Spencer working on EBW. Wade Jackson swoops. Loyola also now has 11 turnovers, BU with only 5 in the game, but the Terriers just have not been able to take advantage. And Jackson gets the shooter's roll.
You're not a visitor when you get a bounce like that. That one looked like it was going off to the right, but off a made free throw, Loyola is able to set up more of their full court press, similar to what the Terriers do, as they try to trap Tynan at the timeline.
He gets out of the double team. Suk Matome with some handy ball handling underneath on Illich, and he pays it off inside.
That's where you just yell out weight room. That was all just muscle getting that ball up on the rim and getting the soft touch there. And the Terriers with a quick response here. And again, now we are still in that 2-3 possession range. Can they get a stop to bring them closer?
I hope folks noticed when we went to the under 16 timeout as Suk comes up with another steal. I was just about to say that under 16 timeout, when we went to break, there was a great shot of Suk, and he was just completely spent as he came over to the bench.
Yeah, they tried to get him one media timeout in, one media timeout out.
Great pass by Jones to Illich. That's Milos Illich underneath. And by 15 on the boards by the midshipmen. They are -7 right now against Loyola, and they're -9 on the scoreboard as Tynan tries to get a pass to Matone, but it was deflected.
And now, again, you see the Terrier starters out there. More minutes for the starters. It's going to be a tiring end to this game for BU, especially as they continue to climb uphill.
Zelko Illich gets rid of it. Great ball movement by the Greyhounds. Still plenty of time to shoot, and Spencer has room up top. He'll take it over White and hit it. Cam Spencer now with 13.
It almost looks like a set shot. He does not get off the ground. He doesn't elevate very much on his jump shot, but he's just got a terrific rhythm and doesn't need much space to get the shot off, as he is now in double figures.
BU had cut what was a 13-point deficit down to 4, but they're down by 11 again, although Suk Matone brings them 2 points closer.
This is very similar to the game Tuesday night. The Terriers came all the way back. They had tied it on a couple occasions in the second half of that game, and then Navy had an answer. Well, the Terriers uphill climb, and Loyola on the road still able to get baskets here, so the Terriers need to find stops.
Andrews working on McCoy. Can't hit the shot. Oh, nice job by Illich to keep it alive, but Walter White takes it away.
Yeah, Suk Matone, you can just tell he's lingering up, getting up the floor, just exhausted.
Jonas Harper drills a 3. That is much needed. Jonas's first points of the game.
Yeah, and the Terriers, again, get out and run after the missed shot, rebound and go, and Jonas gets himself, fades into the corner, and gets himself a big triple to cut it back to 6.
Spencer goes to Illich, tough traffic underneath, and a foul is called on BU as Tynan and Harper were both there hungry for the steal.
Yeah, that's where you look at, here's the shot by Jonas Harper, just the slide step and the finish, but on that last entry pass to Illich, the Terriers were trying to hit the ground, and they may have gotten Harper being aggressive, kind of bodying up to Illich from behind, as Jonas picks up the second personal.
Jonas has had 4 personals in each of the last 2 games, which is somewhat unusual for him.
Yeah, and it's not like his minutes have skyrocketed either. He's been doing this in the high 20s, so Javante McCoy getting a breather here, a much needed breather, and a kick ball off the inbounds by Ethan Britton Watts. And the shot clock at 20, and Loyola will inbound again from the same spot.
It'll be Jones, unguarded this time.
Fletcher wanted that steal on Jalen Andrews as he looks up and says, how did I not get that ball? Lazy pass.
Spencer got a screen from DK. Can't hit the 3. DK gets the offensive board. Can't hang on to it. And an alert play by Walter White, slamming it off DK and out of bounds.
Well, that's where you use the advantage that DK is 6'10", which means long legs, so throw it off somewhere, and it gets off his foot as DK was trying to get out of the way. And the Terriers will get the ball back, but again, with all the switches, all of a sudden DK looked like he had the chance for that offensive rebound. BU has got to be solid on the glass the rest of the way.
BU trying to extend this mini run now. They've scored the last 5 points in this one. Walter White gets shut off. They go to Suk inside, working on DK. The spin move and the foul is called. And they're going to give Suk 2 at the line.
That was lazy by Illich right there. He was not going to double team and just reached in. And he's upset right now as he's talking to his teammates. And he should be upset because that was kind of lazy defense right there. Decide if you're going to go in or not. You see, he just reaches in right there. DK was basically, if he's asking for help, you come over. If not, you let him be. But that's one of those situations where him just kind of going and just putting his hand out there may cost him 2 points.
Suk at the line for 2.
You have to remember the Illich twins, even though they're 6'10", they are freshmen, and that was a freshman mistake right there.
Suk, after his incredible performance against Bucknell here last Saturday, career high 21 points and career high 18 rebounds in his 130th BU game. He's now the record holder in that category. After that performance, Suk was rewarded with his very first Patriot League Player of the Week award, which was announced on Monday. And after making 2 free throws there. He'll take a seat, and BU has now scored 7 unanswered.
What a luxury, though, it is for Tavares Hardy right now that he subs out his 2 bigs, Illich and DK, and he comes right in with Faure as well as Velko Illich, and that's an advantage. You talked about them having their starters play a lot of minutes. If they can get that sort of consistency coming off the bench, that's a huge luxury. Paige Lee played to have 4 bigs like that.
Jonas Harper really digging in defensively on Spencer. Andrews comes up short, and White secures the rebound, and now it's the BU bench making all the noise on the other side. Walter White finds Harper. Not this time.
Great rebound by Illich in traffic. Before that, the box out by Fletcher Tynan, making sure Illich could not catch that ball. Give Loyola a second chance. That's good fundamentals by the bigs. Terriers could not cash in on the opportunity from 3-point range.
7:20 to go in this one. Spencer finds Illich, and he's fouled at the rim along with his twin brother Milos. Milos was actually the winner of the Patriot League Rookie of the Week award in mid-December. And there's a miss, so 1 of 2 at the line.
And again, you're getting half your stop right there just by making a play. So it's a 5-point game. You still keep it as 2 possessions. These are small things that right now with 7 minutes, they don't seem like a lot, but it's a big-time play by Walter White.
Suk Matone aggressively inside, can't hit the shot, and the rebound out of bounds. Last touch by Loyola, as Faure couldn't hang on to it.
Well, Faure heard footsteps. Walter White is doing a great job now on the offensive glass. It's really fun watching him play freely now that he's got his 1,000th point. You just see a different kind of level from him. And he was on the weak side trying to grab that offensive board, and Faure heard the footsteps.
So a second chance possession here for BU. Trying to inch closer. Matone backing in on Illich. Faure is there too. And he misses the shot. This time Faure gets the rebound.
And that's where in the double team, Suk is such a great passer. I know he's trying to make a play, but that's where you've got to look out. You drew 2, and you've got Walter White on the other side. That's where you got to look and make sure Walter's moving off the spot, see if he can get himself a dunk.
6.5 minutes to go in this one. BU has never led. Loyola has led by as many as 13. Andrews off the dribble, gets the bump from Javante McCoy.
Well, one thing we've seen when the Terriers make these switches, all of a sudden you're seeing Loyola look and wait an extra second before they decide their next move. So all of a sudden you're taking a look and you see that Andrews says, all right, now I want you to clear out Velko Illich, and I'm going to take Javante one-on-one. Even though Velko Illich had the mismatch against Ethan Britton Watts, they're able to use the spacing and let their drivers all of a sudden get to the basket, and Andrews does so and will go to the free throw line for 2 as he makes the first.
And he is a very good free throw shooter, 76% this year, and Andrews has been playing very well of late. He's looking for his 10th point in this game. He has averaged 17 points a game over the previous 5 coming into this one.
Yeah, for these 2, it's Spencer and Andrews. Those are the two scorers averaging double figures, and then they've gotten help from elsewhere. And again, very balanced scoring. A couple players with 6, a couple more with 5 for Loyola. One of the reasons why they have this lead.
Which is now at 7. Javante guarded by the big man Faure. Ethan Britton Watts with a nice move. Can't pay it off though.
And that's what Joe Jones was talking about, holding the ball too long. It allows the zone to come over.
Kenneth Jones with the quick 3, and it's in and out. And there's going to be an over-the-back call on Velko Illich.
So there's your fundamental box out as well by Suk Matone. It's only the 3rd team foul. And the second on Illich. Terriers will inbound the basketball on the far side, but now, the last couple of possessions, it's a 7-point game. The Terriers have not been able to inch closer here.
Not been a lot of fouls in this game, and it's been relatively physical, I would say. McCoy with the quick release.
Great feed by Jonas Harper. That's the 2nd time that he's danced along the baseline. You play with fire, and this time he's able to pass out, and Javante McCoy buries it, his 2nd triple of the game.
5:20 to go. Nice cut by Illich, blocked by Matone, but Illich gets the follow.
Yeah, Suk Matone just looking up and saying, can I get a bounce going my way? That's not even a 50-50 ball. That's just a good ricochet right into the hands of Illich, who knew what to do with it.
McCoy with a nice ball fake. Can't hit the 3 again, though.
That time, your own heat check after hitting 2 in this half, but also Loyola was playing off. Kenny Jones was kind of just sagging off that time, so Javante making sure to keep him honest.
Faure turns the corner on Tynan, and the foul is called on Fletcher.
You got to give credit to these big men. Not only are they big, and there's 4 of them, they're quick. They make quick moves. We've seen Suk with his own drop step, but on the other side, Faure and Illich, we've seen both of them with quick decisions. There's another look at that block by Suk Matone, but again, Illich in perfect position to get the offensive rebound.
Faure at the line, 69% this year. The sophomore from Busat, Spain. Countryman of last year's Loyola leading scorer Santi Aldama, now with the Memphis Grizzlies.
This Loyola team, their numbers are, there's a lot of parity in the free throw shooting on this team. You've got Cam Spencer at 90%, but you've got a few guys who really bring that average down, including the man on the line, Faure. So for the Terriers, it'll be interesting to see if they need to extend this game, putting Loyola at the line, and it'll be necessary to do so.
That's why I don't know that we're going to see too much of Golden DK for the rest of this game, because he struggles more than anyone on this Loyola team at the line. He is 0 for 8 this year at the line, and in his career, DK is just 39%.
That's where you've got 3 other guys, Faure and the Illich brothers, that can be in there.
McCoy, nice ball fake by Ethan Britton-Watts. The shot is off the heel, though, and the rebound out of bounds off Suk Matone.
Even in games where the Terriers can't get offensive rebounds, you just see Suk always in the play, and he almost got another one there. That was a great head fake, though, by Ethan Britton-Watts to get the defender. When they're coming off of that zone, they are flying at guards, and that was just a great fake by EBW to free himself up. But this has been a game where the Terriers, again, it's been tough shooting all game long, just 32% from the field.
Terriers continuing to play pretty well defensively, but not able to get all the offense they need, trying to complete this comeback. And Cam Spencer now has 15 for Loyola.
Well, that was, Ethan Britton-Watts picked him up, and I think he was expecting help. There was miscommunication with Suk, so that time just the miscommunication, and Spencer turned the corner, was able to get to the basket with ease.
Javante with an assortment of moves on Jones. The extra pass to Harper. Big 3 there for Jonas.
Well, and the Terriers are going to need 3-point shooters against the zone, and you're curious to see if Jonas has one more breather in it. Is Kalen Jones going to come in? The way that this zone is, if the Terriers can continue to move the basketball, you're going to have other guys open for looks. Is it the right guys taking those shots are going to be the question.
3:15 to go. Jones beats EBW and gets the layup.
Yeah, this time it's EBW. That's been twice now. And again, I'm not sure if it's miscommunication, if he's expecting help.
McCoy sheds the defender, and there's another 3.
Yeah, 3 for 2 every time, but you're still trading baskets. So the Terriers have cut it to 5, but you need to get a stop here. And they've been able to use this pick and roll action. The pick and roll defense by the Terriers has not been good the last 2 possessions.
Underneath Illich.
There it is.
Convert. That might have been altered by Matone. Tough bounce pass to Harper, and Walter White is able to save the loose ball. Terriers almost turning it over. Harper, boom! Again, this time in front of the BU bench.
Finish games off is something that they should know more of, and this, of course, going up in a tough stretch, and the Terriers have caught fire from beyond the arc.
As the clock goes under 2.5 minutes, a quick reset. The possession arrow favors BU. Each team has 2 timeouts left. The Terriers have committed 6 fouls. Loyola has only committed 3, and Golden DK is in the game now for Loyola, and he nearly turned the ball over a moment ago. Spencer fighting in for a shot. That's a great move by a scorer there.
Well, in a 2-point game, you're not fouling DK anyway with 2 minutes to go. Right. But you're absolutely right. I will see if he comes out later on. But with 2 minutes to play, he freed up Cam Spencer.
Loyola by 4. Inside Matone gets blocked. That 5-1 here at the Roof. Their only home loss so far to Marist a few weeks ago here. And now a whistle.
Thing's real.
Terriers putting a little pressure in the form of Fletcher Tynan against Jones, who brings it across. And Tynan knocks the ball loose from Jalen Andrews.
And again, Loyola kind of content right now on going a little slower here as they get into their offense.
Points would be big on this trip for Loyola. Now under a minute and a half to go. Andrews changes directions on Tynan. What a move.
The Terriers, again, relying the last two possessions on getting stops, just have not been able to do so. And Loyola has made them pay. Gets them two more. It's a two-possession game again.
Tynan, the turnaround, he was right there, open at the elbow, couldn't hit it. DK, the rebound, and Loyola has got to be feeling pretty good about things right now, and Fletcher Tynan will give a foul. That'll put Jones on the line for a 1-and-1, and he's one of their better free throw shooters.
Yeah, that's not the guy that you want to foul, but Kenny Jones had the basketball. It's the second foul on Fletcher Tynan as we dip under a minute, and I thought the Terriers let a few extra seconds go before they committed that foul. But Kenny Jones to the free throw line for a 1-and-1. Big box out on DK, important here. Remember Illich on the other side as well.
And he'll get the bonus now. So a three-possession game with Jones ready to try one more. And he makes them both. 64-56. BU's got to play in a hurry here. Down by 8 with under a minute to go. And the Terriers called.
For the Terriers, BU -9 on the glass in this one.
See what the Terriers come up with against the 1-3-1 zone coming out of the timeout.
Too much time already.
Yep. Walter White comes up short on the three. It'll go harmlessly out of bounds, and Loyola is 41.5 seconds away from their first Patriot League road win of the season.
Well, with 41.5 seconds, that is what you call an eternity in basketball. So for the Terriers, let's see if they go off the ball and try to get a steal here.
And is there a...
They've got Fletcher Tynan
foul.
with another foul.
Yep.
So Tynan picks up his third, and Kenny Jones back to the free throw line where he just hit 2.
And again, not the guy you want at the line if you're BU. Jones just hit 2 a moment ago. Jones, coming into this game, had been on a tear in the assist category. Jones leading the Patriot League in that category with over 5 a game. And he's got
5 in this one, yeah.
5 in this game, too.
The big numbers, though, Doug, were interesting. He was 20 assists to 13 turnovers in the last 3 games. In this game, 5 assists to just 1 turnover. That's a strong ratio when you're talking about your point guard who's got the ball in his hands quite a lot.
And one of the reasons Loyola's been able to hang on here down the stretch, as Jones misses the front end this time. Still, the Terriers have to play quickly. Loyola has really cut down on their turnovers in the last 7 or 8 minutes of this second half. McCoy has the shot taken away by Jones, and that should do it as Walter White has to give the foul. Javante was looking for a whistle on the play where he lost the ball, but there was none coming.
Yeah, good defense now, this time by Kenny Jones after missing the free throw. He was the one who got his hand in there and got a steal. Steals are something Loyola does quite well, averaging 8 a game. They have 5 in this one. To go back to the turnover point, Doug, they've had 3 turnovers here in the second half, has Loyola. The Terriers have their fewest turnovers of the season, just 6. And yet here they are on the end of a score that is close to being in double digits.
Yeah, Loyola does not have a turnover in the last 11 minutes of this game. Spencer hits both. It's a 10-point game again. And Loyola is going to be celebrating here in Boston. 20 seconds to go. Walter White weaves in and gets fouled by Faure.
Between Faure and Illich, they're looking at each other. No one wanted to stop the clock right there, because even when Walter White, if he hits 2 free throws, that allows you even make it easier to set up your press. Instead, if you were able to give up the basket, Loyola could inbound usually pretty easily because everyone's scattered. But off a free throw, it allows for that pressure. Now Loyola does have 2 timeouts, so we talk about turnovers. If they're close to a 5-second count or anything else, use one of those timeouts to let themselves go.
Walter White hits both free throws.
And seeing their home record get another one in the L column right here.
And remember, 2 road games coming up next for BU, American and Army. The final seconds of this one, Cam Spencer won't shoot it. all that remains is the celebration for the Greyhounds as they get a